Good morning. We are at the midpoint in the 18th week of Ordinary Time in our church's year. And as we began a few weeks ago, I shall continue with a discussion and a brief review of each of the 7 capital sins, what they are, which commandment they refer to, and then what is its opposite virtue. And today we will look briefly at the capital sin of lust. And of course, the obvious commandment of God to which this refers and pertains is the 6th commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery. This is something that is quite internal and personal to any person, and it doesn't just pertain to those who are married or are engaged to be married. It pertains to every man and woman who has achieved the age of reason and is growing up physically and maturing psychologically and emotionally. Lust itself, Jesus explains it best when he's talking about the nature of marriage and divorce. And in the course of that, he tells those who are there questioning him, and for all others to hear, and he says that anyone who already is looking at another woman with lust in his heart has committed adultery. Lust is internal to a person. It doesn't actually mean that if a man or woman looks that way at another man or woman and doesn't act on that impulse, that they haven't committed a sin. The Lord Jesus himself says it is already a sin. It violates the 6th commandment of God, whether or not a man or a woman, married or single, acts on that lustful and sinful inclination and then attempts, if one is married, to commit adultery against his or her spouse, if one is single, and then still attempts to act on that lustful impulse and inclination, that's the grave sin of fornication. Now, the opposite, the virtue, opposite to lust, is what the church has always termed that virtue of modesty. And when it comes to the opposite of lust, what the church speaks about here is that one, if the temptation arises, one takes immediate action to change what one is looking at, one is thinking about, or even what one would like to do. That's the virtue of modesty. In a certain sense, the church has always also taught us that the opposite of lust is to practice the virtue of custody of one's eyes, one's thinking, one's speech. In other words, be vigilant about those situations where the temptations are most likely to arise. And of course, in every circumstance with all of the virtues, the church urges us, teaches us, exhorts us, strengthen and foster these virtues through our own private prayer, our frequent reception of the Most Holy Eucharist, our regular and frequent reception of the sacrament of penance. These are our best defenses against the capital sins, but also what those capital sins can lead us to in further grievous sins in our daily lives. May God bless you during this week and for the remainder of the summer season, which seems to be coming quickly to a close.